Right now, this is just a huge empty lot or cornfield, but it won't be like that for long. This development is just the start to the massive expansion that Kuna is seeing.
With massive new developments, improvements on infrastructure, a growing demand, and what you'll see later in this video, a huge real estate boom of builders coming here. Kuna is quickly becoming the hottest suburb of Boise.
So by the end of this video, we're going to explain why buyers, families, and investors are racing to get into Kuna before it really takes off.
Yeah, and why now getting into Kuna might be the best decision for you and your family. Because here at Boise Real Estate Insights, me and Jesse, this is a channel for locals wanting real estate market updates, things that are happening in the Boise area, anything that affects you. It's also helpful for relocation people. But we're here not to necessarily entertain you. We're actually here to hopefully provide you guys with information that is helpful for you guys in your decision. Either it's buying real estate, selling real estate, or it's just living or moving to Boise in general. Sometimes we can get a little bit information heavy, but it's purely because we want you to have all of the information.
Yes, so if they're a little bit long, we might apologize. For a lot of you, you want the extra details that we're trying to put into this. We're not putting out just short, quick videos to catch your attention. We're doing our research by having our client experiences literally in all of these communities and looking into things for the future to help explain to you guys. And also, we are real estate agents. We work directly with our clients. If one of you reaches out, you're gonna get one of us too, or both of us realistically. But we also do more than just new construction. That is what we talk about a lot. It's a huge market segment here in the Treasure Valley, but we also help with existing homes, listings, resale, upsize, downsize, the whole smorgasbord of residential real estate essentially.
100%, yeah. So if you reach out, you get us. And like today, talking about Kuna, Idaho, and the big things that are coming here that we're going to inform you on. Our goal here with me and Jesse is we want relationships. We're not here to just sell you a house or help you buy a house. We're here to hopefully build a relationship, even if that means you guys don't buy or sell a house with us. We're happy to go sit down, have a coffee with you, talk through everything, and hopefully have relationships for life. More of a real estate advisor, more of a holistic approach to our clients, and just wanting to get to know you guys here in the Boise area or moving here. But now we can dive into Kuna and a lot of big things that are coming out here. I personally live in Kuna.
Brady's excited.
So there's
one particular amenity coming.
Yeah, there is one big one. I do live here, so there's a little bit of bias on my side. So Jesse can help remove that bias for you guys, but a lot of big things coming. So let's go check it out. Okay, we're out here on the corner of Lake Hazel and Meridian where you guys saw in the introduction. Obviously, we said there's a big thing coming, and a lot of you guys know about this one. So Costco is going to be right here on the Meridian-Kuna border, but obviously most of Kuna would be able to access it.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, Costco is a huge store, it's a huge site, but it's not just Costco that it's bringing. Whenever there's a Costco around as an anchor tenant, it's surrounded by plenty of other different businesses and industries, especially like warehouses and shipping. So to have it be officially here, and probably coming pretty soon. I don't know if they have an expected date yet. Not yet.
But it's officially announced now. So for 2 years, it's been a rumor that it's coming. We didn't know exactly where. Now it's officially announced. It will be on this corner of Lake Hazel and Meridian Road. And it's gonna look a lot like the Costco in North Meridian that many of you guys are probably familiar with, where there's a lot of shops and restaurants and banks around Costco. There's also gonna be apartment complexes right here. But I think the biggest thing about it being in Kuna is that once there's a Costco in place, that's the first sign of things starting to go. Once you get a Costco here, it's not gonna go downhill.
Yeah, exactly. And I used to say when I first moved out here, before I was even in real estate, just because I'd keep an eye on the market for investing and just personal purposes, follow the Albertsons.
Okay.
Nowadays, Albertsons is already all over the place out here, but when, in 2009 to let's say 2015, if a new Albertsons popped up, you have to trust a multi-million, multi-billion-dollar corporation to do their research in knowing that this area is going to continue to grow and or sustain. So, follow the Costco's might be my new saying.
Yeah, 100%. And what's crazy though is in this video, talking about why Kuna is blowing up, this is probably the least.
Yeah, I know. Least exciting, I think.
I agree. There's a lot of things that I'd say most people don't even know. There's things we're going to talk about in this video and show you guys that haven't been released that show all of the signs of why Kuna is blowing up. But about the Costco, one thing I do love about this is right here, we're behind us, or behind you guys, is gonna be Pinnacle. So for those of you who know the SoMe district of Meridian and Pinnacle, the huge development, it'll be right next to that. But I actually like that it's closer to the Meridian side, because if you live in Kuna, you're gonna be able to drive to Costco and not have to deal with all of the people that live in Meridian driving through Kuna. So just a little nice touch there. But again, Costco's coming. Big announcement, but not the most exciting. So now we're gonna go through all of the other big things that are showing major signs of Kuna and why we are so bullish on the real estate market and growth here in Kuna. Okay, we said Costco was just the beginning,
yes,
and we really mean it. We're gonna go through the other commercial amenities that are coming to Kuna, and then after this, we're gonna go over to a new community and talk about all of the crazy new real estate stuff coming to, including a lot of communities. But
yeah, and a little bit of our prediction of why we're stating, and I mean the stats are showing Kuna being one of the fastest growing, if not the fastest growing, and soon to be exploding little towns just outside of Boise.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that at the end to give you guys our predictions, but mostly related to why people might want to move here, especially on the investment side of things, and related to what we kind of saw in Star. So we'll talk about that. But first, behind us, we have what you guys are seeing is what will be a grocery outlet right there. So for those of you who know what grocery bargain market outlet, something like that. It's
grocery outlet bargain market.
Yep. Then you're gonna have a Panera Bread. There's gonna be a Mo Betta's, which is one of my favorite places.
With the second we said that one, Brady's eyes just lit up. Like, oh, yep, glad I live here.
I literally texted some people and was like, hey, we're getting to Mo Betta's. Super excited.
Awesome.
So this is just one small section, and then back over this way, we don't know yet what it's gonna be, but it'll be more commercial properties. So in this area of Kuna, I mean, you already have Cafe Rio, Del Taco, McDonald's, Wendy's, Taco Bell. You have a cookie place like Crumble, you have Marco's Pizza, you have a sushi place, you have a boba tea place, and now we're adding the grocery outlet, Panera Bread, Mo Betta's, and more commercial
Exactly, and it's not just speculation. I mean, it's literally being constructed right here in this corner, right there in that corner. We were just mentioning, and maybe we have some Dutch Bros owners that might see this. The only thing missing, and I don't even drink coffee, but the only thing missing, it feels like, from this literally like looking and feeling exactly like North Meridian is, you know, a Dutch Bros, maybe a different one other coffee shop.
Yeah, or Starbucks. Which I wouldn't be surprised if one of these two sections does have one planned in here, because my wife, I live in Kuna. My wife is a very avid coffee drinker. And she always has to drive into Meridian to get her Starbucks. So I'm like, fingers crossed we get one out here so we don't have to constantly drive into Meridian.
That's funny.
But yeah, a lot of things coming on this side. There's also a new Maverick. I mean, when you drive down 10 Mile Road, and we'll talk about a lot of the real estate stuff here in a second, but every single corner, it's a Jackson's coming soon, it's a Chevron coming soon. That's the first sign of gas stations knowing that there's gonna be a population here and they're getting prepared for it. But excited about all these new things coming to Kuna. Commercial is growing, Costco is gonna be huge, and then I think here in a sec, we're gonna go over to the new community, and the real estate side of things is really where it's big, and we'll kind of lump all of this together. We wanted to give you guys just the baseline of what is coming into Kuna that's already announced, and then we'll paint the bigger picture and kind of wrap it all together to talk to you guys about why Kuna is about to have a massive run, and we'll talk about when that should happen or when it might happen. Okay, now we're out here in what will be a new KB home builder community out here in Kuna, right on the creek. But this is where we want to talk about all of the new construction that has been coming to Kuna. We're going to talk about some of the communities that haven't been announced yet and give you guys a perspective on if you follow the builders, where they're spending millions of dollars to get these developments up and going, and they have multi-million-dollar companies to do research and see it. It just helps, I guess, show what we're talking about, right? I mean,
and it's not even just the builders continuing to develop out here, because obviously if they are, they're doing that for a reason. It's also just the amount of population growth that they've already seen in Kuna. And I think the stat was 25% increase in the last 4 to 5 years. I mean, that's just absurd for population growth.
100%, yeah. And I mean, even another point on that is, in the time I've been a real estate agent, I'd say the first 2 years, if somebody wanted to move to Kuna, it was a pretty rare case. It was they reached out, they wanted to move to Star, Meridian, or Eagle. And it's like, okay. And then we ended up finding a home that just happened to fit way better in Kuna. Over the last year to year and a half, almost every single person that reaches out who's relocating here especially, but I'd also say even locals, Kuna is on their list. They want to move to Kuna or at least consider it. So that's another just sign from what we see on a day-to-day
Exactly,
basis, right?
and that's where we can only give our best guess, but we can't obviously predict what's going to happen in the future. But what we're seeing is stuff we've seen in the past for some of these other outskirt towns from Boise, like Star specifically. The second more people come to us and are like, we're interested in Kuna, we want to know more about Kuna, is when it starts to really take off. Where again, 2 years ago, that was not the case. People weren't coming and saying, let's go look at homes in Kuna first. Let's see if that's the right fit. That would be like, hey, we're going to check out these areas, but let's not skip out on this section and see if there's any homes that fit for you. Now, like I said, I mean, for me, which my business is a little different than yours, at least half or more are like, let's go see what Kuna is all about before we just completely check it off. And I'd say a good portion of them really, really like what they see. Whether they find the right home or not is different. But I mean, the amount of attention and popularity we're literally seeing firsthand, and it's starting to increase.
100%, yeah. And we'll definitely talk about that more. But want to give you guys the list of new communities that are out in Kuna too. So if you guys, I always tell people, if you want to see it on a quick, easy way to see it, pull up Zillow or Redfin or whatever one you use, put in just new construction homes or homes built after 2024, and then just look at Kuna, and it's just red listings everywhere because there's so many communities. CBH has 10 or 11 out here. They have, I think, 1 or 2 coming here soon. I live in Kuna, so I get to see it a lot, but driving around, I see tons of developments that haven't been announced yet. CBH has a couple of those. Hubble Homes has 2 communities, new communities coming out here. They already have one out here. You have KB Homes with this new one that just barely got announced. Hayden Homes has another new community coming out here that's going to be a 5-year project, so it's going to be a massive Hayden community, similar to what we saw in Star with Trident Ridge, or those of you who might know Lacadio Village in Nampa. And then that's just the ones that we kind of know about. There's also a lot that haven't been announced that we see developments as you're driving through Kuna.
Yeah, those ones are like happening this year, maybe early spring of next year, where they're finalized. They just have to obviously develop and start building. And when if you do that map setup that Brady was mentioning, I think the comment back that we're going to get is like, well, there's hundreds of homes, like, that it's oversaturated with inventory. It might look like that, but that's not the case because, again, 25% growth in the last 5 years, and they're expecting almost another double in the next 10 years. So no, it's not an oversaturation of inventory. We have future clients in Las Vegas and Arizona where markets are going down. That's not happening here, especially in Kuna. It's actually going up.
100%. Yeah. I mean, I bought my house in January of this year, and that price has already gone up 10,000. For the same exact floor plan, same exact build. It'd be about 10,000 more to build that out here in Kuna. And with the relationships I have with the realtors in a lot of these different communities, they're planning on bumping up prices in the fall again. Even the new Hayden community that we mentioned, it's probably going to be $20,000 to $50,000 more expensive for the same home right down the street. Part of that is it'll be a luxury community, but part of it is also just they're bumping up prices in Kuna. A lot of these builders anyway, right? So lots of growth. And then we obviously talked about all of the commercial amenities that are coming to Kuna, which is part of why there was hesitation for a while in Kuna is there was a lack of amenities, I guess. And when you look on a map in Kuna, it looks super far away, but it's actually closer to Meridian and Boise than Star is, or obviously Middleton and Caldwell. So it's not as far of a drive as people think. And now that we're getting a Costco, all of the things we talked about, it's just going to add to that where people are fine living in Kuna because you have all of the amenities.
Plus it's all perspective. So like when I first started in real estate, or even when I first moved out here, in 2009, Meridian was far away when we lived in Boise. It's like, that's not far at all. And then after Meridian really grew and started to take off, it's like, ooh, Star's pretty far away. Like, we're not going into Star.
Yep.
Kuna feels far away. In 3 years, it's not going to feel like that at all,
Nope.
or even sooner, just because everything's going to fill in. You know, the infrastructure should get a little bit more efficient, hopefully. But either way, it's like it might look far on a map, but that changes very quickly. We're not 30 minutes outside of town.
100%. Yeah, and the part that we forgot to mention is, I mean, yes, Kuna's far out here, but kind of relating to this is we forgot to mention Facebook's data center is out here in Kuna. It's not in town, which is nice. It's outside of town. And then another data center got announced. And while directly there's not a ton of jobs around the data centers,
Sure.
it did one thing, is it actually took a huge burden off the commercial taxes, which actually lowered residential taxes. But the other side of this is, for those of you who have watched the Micron video, all of that kind of relates to job growth in the AI and tech sectors, which is going to bring people out this direction, especially looking for more affordable homes, because Kuna's not that far to all of those things.
Yeah, and that's honestly the commute piece. We were spoiled being able to be here when it was not nearly this busy.
Yeah.
Where most people are coming in from, or that locals unfortunately just have to adapt to, is the commutes are going to get longer. So realistically, from Kuna to Micron is a normal commute in any other major metropolitan city. So it is, it's just part of life with when you have massive growth like we've been seeing and continuing to see. But all of that growth over there or anywhere near Kuna, people are going to flock here because it is more affordable, significantly more affordable still than Boise, Meridian, Star, obviously Eagle.
100%, yeah. And I'd say there's two main people that are going to benefit from that. But first, want to talk to you guys about that commute, because I live out here. Even locals don't realize what the commute times are. So I live out in this area, which is about as far as you can get into Kuna. And to get to the interstate is a 12-minute drive. So you have Winco, the water park, Walmart right there. To get to the village in Meridian, it only takes me 20 minutes. If traffic's bad, it might take me 30 minutes, but for the most part, it's about 20 minutes, which again, that's closer than it is to Star, right? Star, I mean, sometimes if you get stuck in traffic on State Street or Shinden, you can be stuck and it's taking you 30 minutes to get there anyway. So the commutes aren't as bad as people would think, so you have quick access. Now, we talked about like two people that I think would really benefit from this, and one of those is first-time home buyers. Obviously, real estate, there's always this investment side, which is obviously why we're making this video, because all of the result of all of that we're talking about is home prices going up faster. That's really the result, right? And as a first-time home buyer, you get a little bit more affordable homes out here, but you want that equity to be built so that you can start to build wealth for the future, and hopefully, in 5-10 years, you have equity to transfer over to upgrade. All of those things, right? Yep,
exactly. What we expect, and we'll even give kind of our prediction on when we're going to see this really start to amplify, is this area, or Kuna in general, appreciating faster than the rest of the Treasure Valley. And it's partly because, again, it's in demand. It is growing with the right amenities and the right infrastructure. But it's also still really affordable. And I mean, I think a lot of people miss that point. I mean, it's depending on where you're looking at, $50,000 to $70,000 less potentially on the median home price. And you're not 50 minutes out of town, like you're not in Payette or you're not in Emmett, but you still have really good pricing. So that gap is gonna fill in very quickly and probably sooner than I think most people are expecting.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, on that point, like, for first-time home buyers, you can get into a home here for $400,000, which is fantastic, especially new construction. For resale homes, I mean, you can get as low as $350,000. One thing that I do find, though, is that people who are debating between Kuna as first-time home buyers, is it still not more affordable than Nampa and Caldwell, right? Like, as an example, just have clients that were debating between buying a home out here in Kuna versus Nampa. They got about 400 more square feet in their home for about the same price in Nampa. But the thing that Nampa and Caldwell have that Kuna doesn't is obviously a lot of the industrial stuff that's not attractive to a lot of people wanting to live there. You have all of the factories, the sugar beet factory, Amazon's warehouse, all of those things. There's obviously a much higher crime rate in and around the downtown areas of Nampa and Caldwell, which makes it less desirable. And you're farther away from Boise and Meridian in Nampa and Caldwell too. So it's a balance of, yes, Kuna is way more affordable than Meridian or Star or Eagle or Boise, but it's not as affordable as Nampa and Caldwell.
Yep. Yeah, and in those two cities, to add to that, you kind of know what you're getting.
Yep.
It's already built out. There's a downtown. There's all the commercial infrastructure. Obviously, different restaurants could come in or different, nightlife, but you can see what you're getting. Whereas out here, it's going to be new things that, again, people are wanting to have out here. It's not going to be as run down or, I guess even old per se as some of those other parts of Nampa and Caldwell. So you get to experience the growth and maybe even contribute to it, which I think some people might find a little more exciting than, moving out to Nampa or Caldwell, unless, again, the home itself is just a significantly better value for what they need.
Yeah, if the home's right for you, then sometimes that works out. But if investment or equity side of things and being closer to everything is important, that's where it matters. Because even if Kuna appreciates at 1% faster than the rest of, Nampa, Caldwell, 1% on $400,000.
Yeah, it adds up.
Adds up quick over a few years, right?
Yeah,
so, but still wanted to make note of that. And then the other side of things is obviously the investor side of things. There's more appreciation here. The rental market's fairly similar, maybe a little bit cheaper than Meridian, but it ends up evening out. But the appreciation side of it for investors is huge. And part of that investment side is you are so close to Meridian and what we're getting at the district at 10 Mile. So it'll be 4 times the size of the village. We've talked about it a lot. But that's 10, 15 minutes down the road from Kuna.
Yeah, and a lot of people that are going to be working there are, maybe temporary or not making quite enough to purchase a home. They're going to be renters, and that's where I personally really like Kuna as a good investment location.
Yeah.
I personally really like the Kuna area for strictly the investment potential, because I really like to go off, especially right now, okay, what's your rent price versus your purchase price? And because we're significantly more affordable than Boise and Meridian, rent prices are not that much lower, so you have a little bit of an offset there. But the other piece is a lot of the things coming in here are going to create more renters. And again, just like home prices, as rent prices continue to skyrocket in Boise and Meridian, people are going to come to more affordable areas. And I think there's a really big opportunity, especially with some of the entry-level new construction, for investment purposes, where you're going to get more appreciation. And I think in a very short time, you're probably going to have more cash flow as well, because rents will increase at the same rate, if not faster, than the home prices too.
No, yeah, that's a good point.
Yep.
Yeah, not just the appreciation, but rent appreciation as
Exactly.
well. Yep. And then talking about what Kuna doesn't have, right? So, and then we'll wrap it up and give our prediction and show you guys how this all comes together. But Kuna does not have a great opportunity for lots that are bigger in communities. So if you do want homes on land, they're either an acre that somebody custom built and they're $1 million plus, or they're older homes outside of the Kuna area. We don't have communities like you see in Star, Middleton, or even Nampa and Caldwell, where it's 50, 100 homes all with a ½ acre to an acre lot. That's lacking in Kuna. You do get lots that might be 1/4 of an acre or close to a ½ an acre, but that's one lot in one community that you might be able to find. So it is lacking there a little bit.
Yeah, I would say the acreage lots for sure. You can find big acreage lots, 5+, and plenty of good opportunities there, but not the community style ½ acre to 1 acre, 2 acre type setup. And then the other piece is there is luxury out here, luxury in terms of price point, like in Valor, some of the homes in La Garnetera by Tresidio, where you're in that 900 to maybe 1.2, maybe 1.5 million range, but there is no high luxury like we would see in Meridian along the ridge line in Spurwing or Star Point, where you're pushing the 2 millions or higher, unless you're again wanting the ranch style home where you get 20 acres, a beautiful mansion, then you're maybe in the 2 to 5s, but there isn't high luxury here as well, which may or may not come, but at least wanted to point out it doesn't have everything, but I'd say for 90+% of people, you could probably find what you need in Kuna.
Yeah, exactly. Now, everything we just talked about, right? Obviously, it's pretty obvious. We're very excited about Kuna's appreciation. Talked a little bit about builders already starting to plan for this, but it's a slow burn, and what we've seen in Star specifically is it slowly grows and then it just takes off. And from there, it's going to be even with Meridian, and it's eventually going to catch up to Star. So Jesse got to see this firsthand in Star to show you guys and give you guys an idea of kind of when we're thinking this will happen, because things have happened quick. I've only lived in Kuna for a year, And it went from like pretty small rumors of Costco and things happening to now like everything's being built and it's coming quick, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll throw out an expectation or prediction there, but I mean, overall, we're on the cusp of it, is what I'm feeling and seeing.
Yep.
From experience, also just from obviously looking at numbers and statistics, we're on the cusp of where that exponential growth is going to start to happen. The tough part with that, just like timing anything in any market, is you can't do that. You're either too early or a little bit too late. You're never right on the right spot. So to be honest, between now and the next 6 to 8 months, I feel like is where that growth curve is going to start to go up versus where it just stays similar to the rest of the valley. Where you're actually going to feel that impact, I mean, this time next year, I think people are going to be very, very happy with their purchase or trying to scramble to be like, let's not miss the boat.
Yep, and I'm already somewhat in that boat because the community that I bought in out here in Kuna, it has sold out so fast. There's constantly, they only have 2 homes left in there and they're trying to catch up to the build. But I'm in the boat of in the next year, I'm trying to hopefully buy another property in Kuna before that happens for this exact reason. So it's not just us talking about it, it's literally me trying to live it and trying to, I mean, we already have our first house in Kuna, but trying to hurry and get into our second before this hits. And I'm actively putting in that effort to see it because I agree with Jesse. Living out here, I'm constantly talking with builders and I have a lot of clients that actually have moved out into Kuna. Definitely, I'd say by next summer. And as we talk about in a lot of market reports, all it takes is one little tweak, right? We already have the Micron announcement, which is a new tweak, but Jerome Powell, if he gets kicked out in January and Trump does what he wants to do and he actually gets mortgage rates to tick down 1% or 1.5%, that's all it takes for the Boise market, and Kuna would take the brunt force of a lot of that because interest rates, I'd say, affect a lot of first-time homebuyers specifically that are just sitting on the sidelines, as well as people upgrading and downgrading. So,
again, 1 year I think is my guess. This time next year, where it'll start to tip that supply-demand, where demand is going to outpace supply even out here, and we'll start to see that growth. Probably slowly at first, and then impossible to catch up to after that. But you still have some time, in our opinion. And I'm excited to look back in like maybe 3 years, and we'll either look like geniuses or we'll look like idiots, and we'll take that. But we're pretty confident that this area of the Treasure Valley is the next spot to blow up.
100%. And if you guys want to hear about what's happening more in the market in detail, including new construction homes cutting their prices. We're going to break that down, talk about it in this video, so you guys can get a little bit more insights on Boise's real estate market as a whole, because it is a little bit confusing. Going back to Jesse's point of it looks like there's way too much inventory here. So check out that video. We appreciate you guys watching.